Cranky Motorsports here. This is a BFMS Onan, and what I'm going to do right now is pull this head off, inspect it. I'm going to resurface this head, and I'm going to clean out decarbon around the valves and stuff like that while I have it off. Clean off my intake port so I can put my intake manifold back on and basically get this motor ready to go. So I always start out just by cracking all the head bolts free. These ones are pretty tight. I'm pretty sure this motor's been opened up before. This has graphite impregnated head gaskets on it, which I don't believe are factory. I've seen more rigid head gaskets on these when they're factory head gaskets, not the impregnated ones. Some of these are pretty tight, some of these are pretty loose. So everything I've seen on this motor so far leans to it's been apart. There's actually a little bit of cross hatching in the cylinders still, so it might have had a re-ring job, and this motor ran really well. It did have kind of an odd issue where when it would throttle up, it would sputter and fart a little bit unless I pulled the dipstick tube out. Probably doesn't actually fix the actual issue when you pull the dipstick tube out. However, it allowed it to run better, so I don't know what the deal was with that. So I want to see what's going on with this motor. And again, have a little tray handy to put all your nuts and bolts in. I have a whole bunch of those. I forget if they're like Acropack or some brand like that. But I just throw all the nuts in there for whatever particular thing I'm working on. Right now doing a head gasket. And again, somebody's probably going to rip me for not taking these off in the right order, but I loosened them all up, going up gradiently so that it, well, again, maybe you're supposed to start loosening them up in the middle and do them in the opposite pattern that you tighten them, but I just crack them free, go around, loosen them up again, and then pull them off. This one looks like the stud might come out. Yep, stud's coming out with this guy. So this happens once in a while, not really a big deal. Sometimes the stud comes out. I'll clamp it in my vise, get the nut off of it, clean up the threads, and then thread the stud back in before I put it back together. And some of these are easy to come off, some not so easy. I do have this little kind of like a ratchet without a handle on it. I bought these at Harbor Freight years ago. They work pretty well when you're putting stuff back together, but a lot of times when you're taking it back apart, you need the extra torque of the handle. So that's why I'm using a longer ratchet here. And true to form, every YouTube video when there's a ratchet, you got to get the loudest ratchet you have. My Craftsman ratchets are actually much quieter than this. I don't even know where this one came from. Honestly, this might have been from a Kmart toolkit. And I just lost the nut. Well, yeah, I lost a nut. Nice. Make all the jokes you want. I'll have to find it later. These are fine thread 5/16 nuts. I do have more, but I'd rather reuse the ones that are on here. Most of the time, if it's something with bolts, like Tecumseh's, when I do head gaskets on those, I'll replace the bolts because the bolts they use are usually the bolts are only grade 5 and they tend to stretch. I haven't really had any issues with the head studs that most of the Onans have on them, so I'll reuse them. They're fine thread, so they tend to get a little bit better torque on them anyway. Alright, so just got a couple here. This one, the stud's coming out as well. And that just happens because there's rust on the threads on the stud. So, like I said, I'll put it in the vise, I'll run the nut back down, spray it with some WD-40, get the nut off of the stud, and then wire brush it before I put it back together. So, two more here to come off. And this is kind of boring and tedious to watch, I know. I'm just trying to do short little tutorials. Sometimes when you're doing these heads that have studs in them, it's better to take the studs out because it's easier to clean off the surface of the block. I usually just use a razor blade and go around all the studs. Again, it's tedious and annoying, but it is what it is. Alright, so that should be all the nuts. Now there's really thick washers on here, so you got to be careful when you take the head off. Sometimes the head's stuck, so I like to take a screwdriver and very gently, and I mean very gently, pry against the cooling fins on the back of the block. If you do it too aggressively, you're actually going to crack something or warp the head. So you're just barely putting any force on it until it moves. Then you can wiggle it back and forth with your hand to get it off. And these, I'm fairly certain these head gaskets have been replaced because these are the graphite ones, and they're pretty well stuck on the head on the other one that I did as well as this one. So now that I'm getting close to the end of the studs, you want to make sure you don't lose those washers. So I just dropped one. You want to save all these washers. Usually I have a magnet here, but I forgot it in the other side of my garage. So I'm just going to take them off with a screwdriver. Again, you don't want to lose these. These distribute the force more equally across the head when you put the nut on it. And they also keep the head from getting galled up or destroyed from the nut. And they are pretty thick. They're probably like, I don't know, twice as thick as a standard washer at least. So there's all my washers off, and head should come off pretty easily. You can see some of the graphite gasket is still stuck on the head. These have definitely been cleaned up, because this head, I mean, you're probably not the greatest to see it in the video, but there's hardly any carbon buildup in this. This motor's a 1973. Typically motors this old have a lot of carbon buildup in them. And the bottom of the cylinder, not in bad shape. I have my old t-shirts here that I use to clean up stuff when I take it apart. So this one has a little bit of corrosion in the bottom of the cylinder. Let me see if I can get that on video. So you can see that corrosion in there. A lot of times that just happens from the piston sitting in one spot for a long time. Might get a little bit of moisture in there. I don't usually worry about that. Again, these motors are so old. They've had a long life most of the time. There's usually still plenty of good life left in them. And rather than me dingle ball honing this thing and cleaning it all up and spending, you know, 40, 50 hours on these, I do have a few Onans lying around the garage, and some people may call me a jerk because I say if one blows up I can just put another one on, but largely it's true. I mean, I am getting to a point where half of my engines on my shelf are actually garbage, so I should probably take more time fixing these things and, you know, pulling the pistons apart, but I don't have that much time. Finding parts for these is not the easiest, and truth be told, that little dirt and grime that's in there won't really affect how this motor runs. So once I take all that stuff off, I just give it a little squirt with some carb clean to make sure if I got any sand or anything in there when I took that head off that I get it out. Yeah, and this one does have some grooves on the bottom of the cylinder from a piece of dirt or something getting in there, so it's got some pretty deep grooves in it. So I mean, this one eventually will probably start smoking as that ring starts to wear in those grooves on the inside of the cylinder, but again, it's 40 something years old. It's almost 50 years old. It's going to work fine for what I'm doing on my tractor. So just cleaning the carbon off the inside of the cylinder there, just that little ring around the edge of the cylinder where the piston stops. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is turn this thing over until both valves are shut, and I'm on the top of the compression stroke here where the piston stops, and when it gets to that point, I'm going to take a razor blade and clean all this old gasket off around all these studs. Then I'll take some carb cleaner and a wire brush, and I'll try to get as much of this carbon off there as I can to clean it up to give me the best surface for my head gasket. And then I'll take my head gasket and actually scrape all the stuff off of that, take the head and resurface it on my table saw with a piece of sandpaper. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this up. I'll do a time lapse here. Alright, so that was cleaning up the block for the new head gasket. I cleaned up all the surface area with a razor blade, used a wire brush to go around the valves as best I could, and then while I had the head gasket off, I cleaned my intake manifold surfaces on the block, because if you have any crud fall down in your intake hole, you can just blow it right out the front. So that's all clean. That's actually ready for a head gasket. And over here on my bench is my head resurfacing area. So get this out of the way. But basically, this is my head resurfacer. This is some 150 grit, I think it's aluminum oxide sandpaper. It's 3M pretty good grade sandpaper. So that's what I use to actually resurface my heads. And where did I put the head? Oh, right here. So just like cleaning up the block for the head, I use a razor blade and I scrape all this graphite off. Again, usually comes off pretty easily. You want to get as much off of it as you can before you start resurfacing it, because it will actually clog up your sandpaper. So this doesn't take long. Just get all this crud off. And then what I'll do is actually take my wire brush after I do this. So again, it doesn't take long. Most of this stuff will come right off. Sometimes there's a little bit on there that's a little bit stubborn, but for the most part, that should be just about all of it. That looks pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna take my wire brush and I'm just gonna lightly swirl around in this, and I'm pretty sure these head gaskets have been changed, because normally motors this old, you're gonna have a lot more buildup in here than this. There's really not much in here, so I'm just loosening up all that burnt oil and carbon with a wire brush just a little bit. You don't want to wreck the gasket surface on this, but the reason I'm doing this now instead of after I surface the head is because I don't want scratches in my gasket surface from a wire brush. So if you do it now, get as much of that stuff loose as you can. Take your carb cleaner and rag again. So just standard Walmart carb cleaner is what I use because it's cheap. When you have a lot of engines to do, you want to use the cheap stuff. Do this. You got to be careful with rubber gloves. This stuff will actually go through a rubber glove. So I'm going to have to change my gloves after this, but loosen all that stuff up pretty good with a carb cleaner. Take an old t-shirt or a rag and just wipe out. So I was going to show you how I resurfaced my head, but my camera didn't start, so I'll do it very quickly. After I scraped all the gasket material off here, I take a wire brush and I just scrape as much of that crap out of the cylinder head as I possibly can to get all the carbon and stuff out of it. Take some carburetor cleaner, spray it out to get all the goop out. Kind of shake the carb clean off. I'll wipe this guy down. And then what I'm going to do is take some sandpaper. This is 150 grit sandpaper, and this is my table saw. It's a nice flat surface. And what I'm going to do is take the head, put it face down, and I'm going to rub back and forth to try to get as flat a surface as I can on the bottom of this head to give me a good mating surface. Now, because my camera wasn't running, I've already done this, so I'm just showing you quickly. And what you want to have is a uniform, shiny surface on the top of this head so that when that gasket goes on there, it's flat all the way around. This one is already done. So now that I have my head resurfaced and I have my block surface clean, I can go ahead and put the new head gasket on. And again, I have to get a couple of my studs, the nuts off of the studs, but here's my nice resurfaced head. Here's my block. And I have a brand new head gasket right over here. For newbies that have never done this before, the head gasket actually has two spots on it for the valves. One side is larger than the other. The intake valve on these motors is always larger than the exhaust valve, so the bigger hole has to go over the intake valve. So you slide it on very carefully so you don't ruin the gasket. You kind of have to walk it on because it'll hang up a little bit on the studs as you're putting it on. My gloves are all rolled up here. People ask me why I wear gloves. Well, it's because I work in an office environment and it's not really nice going into work and doing presentations with hands that are all bloody and stained from grease. So right now my hands are pretty cut up because I've been home for a couple of weeks, and yeah, I've been working a lot in the garage, so I got a lot of cuts on my hands, plus washing my hands 50,000 times a day to make sure I'm not getting sick from this coronavirus crap. It does take a toll on them. So there's the head gasket on the motor. Again, make sure that your head is nice and clean, and plop that guy right back on those studs, like so. Then, what I like to do to make sure that it goes on well, the nuts go back on well, I just take a couple of drips of WD-40, put it on each one of these studs to lubricate the nuts as they go on. It's not really going to hurt if you put a little bit too much on, because it'll just burn off when the engine starts. But just put a little bit of that on each one of those. And again, I have a couple of studs that I got to take the nuts back off, but then you want to put all your washers back on. And this is kind of boring work to watch. I understand that. I thank you guys who do watch me for keeping up with this, but you put all these washers back on all the studs, and then you run your nuts down, and you have to alternate the pattern when you tighten them up. So what I do, I usually start out in the middle. I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then I'll just keep going in that pattern. So you're kind of crisscrossing, going opposite each other, working your way out from the middle, out to the outsides of it. And there is an actual procedure to do it. Again, half the time I don't probably do it per the procedure, but this is what works good for me. And I'd have to look up the specific torque specs on these. It's something like 20 foot-pounds or something. It's not very much. It might even be 20-something inch-pounds. I can't remember. But the torque procedure, you can look it up in the manual. I'm not going to go through that right now. But again, when you torque them down, you kind of want to go in an alternating pattern around from the inside of the head to the outside of the head, alternating back and forth on your bolts to get it cinched down correctly. And then once you're done the head gasket, I've already done the valve cover gaskets on this motor, so I'm not going to cover that in this video. But after that, I'm going to clean up the carburetor that I have for this, put the intake manifold back on. Then I'll move to the points on this motor, make sure the points are correct, set correctly and everything. And again, I'll try to get to some of that in another video. But that's it for today, just doing a little bit of work on head gaskets on an Onan. Thanks for watching Cranky Motorsports. Have a great day and have a great weekend. This is Easter Sunday weekend. Today's actually Good Friday, so for those of you that celebrate that, have a good Good Friday and have a good Easter. God bless you. Have a great day. Keep tractoring. See you later.